The great thing about this band is we never want to repeat ourselves. If we ever get to that point where we feel like that, we scrap it. Yeah, I was kind of a kid in a candy store, really. It was a fantastically challenging process. Kind of went with the stuff that I responded to, and just wove it into the narrative, basically. And it was pretty effortless.
No one's laughing now. No one's laughing now.
It's the first time in a long time I've actually, tried to write from the standpoint of a different person. I tend to write more selfishly than anything.
Because of it being a concept and a story, it actually probably allowed us to venture a little further and have more peaks and valleys than had it been traditionally, here's a collection of 12 songs.
You've got 4 great writers in this band, and so you've got almost a potpourri of great material. So it's just basically finding the stuff that you gravitate towards and what inspires you the most, and you just kind of go from there. Part 1, is essentially the assault on himself. And part 2 is really it's going to be about finding the way out. Really, having to make that choice. You're talking about a character who is conflicted in a way where he doesn't want to take that next step, and that's reflected in the world that he's in. He doesn't want to. He's not so quick to figure things out yet, so he's not ready to make that next step. And in part 2, he's not forced to, but he comes to the realization that he has to. The cool thing about part 2 is that it's much more thematic. It has more of a, it feels more like the soundtrack to a movie, and it really does. But I think it has more, it has our most complex songs on, they're very intricate, it is much darker. Some softer passages, but those are heightened by the heaviness of everything going on. So it's going to be really cool. We didn't leave anything on the table. We tried everything that we, could, like everything that came to our minds and whatnot. I wouldn't change anything. I thought we did really good. I think the hardest thing was just keeping on schedule. Just making sure that we did everything to the best of our abilities. Doing essentially 2 albums at once. And the time it takes most people to do one, it was quite a bit of a challenge, but I thought we rose to it really well, and it was just kind of keeping the story in mind as far as from my point of view, and making sure that the characters were represented and that the story was moving along at a pretty good clip and whatnot. So yeah, I think just make it, when you've got a project that big, you really have to kind of keep on task and whatnot. And I thought we did a really good job of balancing, staying at work and plus, trying to keep time for ourselves and making sure we didn't burn out on